Mandikonda, mandikonda, mbali ya wanu. Yeah man, this is Sanbi, otherwise known as Wonjo. You're watching Crafthouse TV. Stay tuned.
Welcome back to another episode of Streethouse. This is episode 13 of season 2, and today's episode we're outside in the city of Blantyre here at Amaryllis Hotels, and we've got a very amazing guest that we're catching up with here later on in the show. Do stay tuned and find out who that guest is. And kicking off the show is music here coming in Jay Wambali himself, and this one's called Nkuchibirega.
uchini kanjani imonkwizira namtima wane imonkwizira namtima wane utimundisuske undisuske ndimwe nalonje winu utimundisuske undisuske ndimwe nalonje winu.
Welcome back, and I did mention earlier that we're outside today and we've come to meet a very amazing artist, award-winning himself, and we've got Lawi right now. We're catching up with him. Welcome to the show. It's definitely a pleasure to have you here.
Thank you. It's my honor.
So-
I'm really honored. Thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we definitely came out here to meet you, and we left our house just to come meet you today.
Well, sometimes you have to go out into the streets to meet,
Yeah.
life.
Uh-huh.
Yeah, and thank you for coming.
It's definitely a pleasure to have you
Thank
here.
you. Thank you very much.
All right, so for people that are true fans of Lawi,
Yeah,
they
yeah.
will know you as someone that did Aminye back in the day.
Yeah.
Can you believe that?
Well, yeah.
Looking from how far you've come from Aminye.
Times, sometimes popularity finds you when you're young.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, but that's my story. I think I was about 15 years old at the time.
When Aminye came out?
Yes.
No way.
Yeah, I must have been. Yeah. Yeah.
So what trajectory of sound were you looking at back then? Because Aminye was quite a different sound. from
We
what you-
were very influenced by hip hop music
Okay.
when I believe hip hop was hip hop.
Okay.
Yeah.
Hip hop being the likes of.
It was Jay-Z, it was Nas,
Mhm.
it was Mos Def, it was 50 Cent.
Those are really hardcore people you're mentioning there.
Yeah, well, it was a time when hip hop was also changing a face.
Yeah.
You know, yeah. There was rap, and then hip hop, and in Malawi, it was a time when we were witnessing this change. We didn't have the luxury of TV as much as we do now,
Yeah.
but we heard of rap and hip hop from radio, and we followed.
Which one was your most treasured record back in the day?
Most definitely a Nas album,
Mm.
any of his
Any of
albums.
those.
Yeah,
All right.
yeah.
All right. So coming in from that hip hop background,
Yeah.
the transition into what you now call Afro soul.
Yeah.
How did that actually happen for you? When did that actually start?
So I am music. Music is me.
Lawi is music.
Music is me, and
Okay.
what you get to experience are different shades of Lawi.
Mhm.
Yeah. As a listener, I may be listening to something completely different, but it inspires me to express myself in the way that you know
Yeah.
now. And it must have been somewhere within 2006, coming this way,
Yeah.
that I made the decision consciously to say, okay, in as far as I love listening to this, but I sure should now focus on expressing myself in this way. So I started to record my first album. Yeah, from 2008, and it came out in 2013.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So why that gap in between for it to come out in
Growth.
2000? Yeah.
growth. Yeah, there's always a time when a boy has to,
Boys
you know,
to men transition.
you go into the closet and transition into
Yeah.
a man, and that period for me is years of growth.
Yeah.
Yeah, and also battling whatever it is that you need to leave the boy
behind. Yeah.
and become the man that you should.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so soul, when I hear the word soul and combine it with Afro soul, it sounds a lot spiritual. Would
Right.
you say that you went through a sort of spiritual transitioning as well in between for you to make that transition?
Well, yes and no, because I believe music is spirit.
Yeah.
So, being that it is what it is, music is always there. It always takes the shape or form of the purpose that you carry or you bear, and everything else is just the human side of things.
Yeah.
As I'm a brother, I'm a father now. I'm a son. I'm an uncle. I think to some extent you come to a place where you have to align all these with the spirit
Yeah.
that moves you. So for me, music was always what it was.
Yeah.
I knew it, but I think I as an individual, I had to come to that place where I now say, okay, I've done this, I've experienced this as a human being.
Yeah.
It's been nice, but we need to move on, and I now need to take the form of the new man that I was also to become.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so who would you say was your inspiration to actually get into music? Because I'm sure you just didn't wake up one morning. I don't know, unless you did that.
As I'm saying, I am music, and music is me. I was born this way.
Yeah.
You know, there wasn't a specific day when I realized that, oh, I seem to have a gift of music. No, because I would lie if I say that.
Yeah.
Growing up, I grew to realize that there was depth to this for me, and I needed to now just pursue to get to the bottom of it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so we're getting on to the Afrocentric part of your music. What do you think are the cultures that inspire your music to be the way it is and to sound the way it does?
See, every country has its distinct sound. Malawi has.
Yeah.
I get this a lot. Everywhere where I go across the world, when they hear my sound, they'll ask me, "Where are you from?" And when I tell them I'm from Malawi, it's an even exciting thing for them, because they have heard of music from Nigeria, they have heard of music from South Africa, but they haven't heard of music from Malawi. So it's something new for the world. So I believe in being original and as authentic as I can be, and this is why I tell the stories of Malawi. I sing the music of Malawi, and it may be music that is sometimes interpreted in foreign languages like English, but these are our stories. This is our life, and I believe that's the best gift that we can give to the world. Yeah.
Okay, so how do you actually manage to incorporate the I don't know, I want to call it somehow folklore type of music and make it also contemporary for both the young and the old to just delve into it?
Appreciate. That's what originality does. When you don't pretend, when you don't talk about
For you, pretense meaning?
There's a usual shying away from reality that a lot of creatives incorporate in their art.
Okay.
And by doing that, we don't do justice to the craft. You know, pretending would be whether putting things in your lyrics that you yourself do not relate with or resonate with.
But you don't.
You're walking on foot.
Yeah.
You be real as you can be. Yeah. I believe the world is looking for that authentic side to humanity that is always helping us to move forward. You see, what propels development and transformation is art, right? So as an artist, you bear a huge responsibility to make sure that the next generation or the future looks much better. So if you come and bring fiction, see what I mean?
Yeah, it doesn't
Yeah. So I believe in being as authentic as you can be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you've spent some time in South Africa.
Yeah.
I think you mentioned about 6 years or more.
Quite longer actually.
Yeah.
If I look at the times that I've just been doing back and forth, it's
Yeah.
just quite a long time. Yeah.
All right. So you've been there and
Yeah.
you've experienced that culture. Would you say that it's had the country itself and the culture there has had some sort of influence to your music as well?
Absolutely. See, my whole family is there. My father is a miner.
Okay.
He's worked in the mines all my life, and he has made it not only possible for me to get exposure, but to also understand the cultures of all the places that I've grown up in, I've been to. Yeah, and just as you would be in Rome and do as the Romans do,
Yeah, sure.
most likely the different cultures in South Africa have influenced me highly. Yes.
I'm looking at Satana Luma. Does
Yeah.
it have a touch of it or no?
You see what growth does.
Uh-huh.
It points you in different directions, and sometimes you have to weigh whether it's okay or important for you to kind of tap from an era where you've been through already, and perhaps bring that into the future. Not as of now, but maybe. Maybe.
Maybe.
We never know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, so going through your social media and what you've just mentioned now, your dad being a miner there in
Yeah.
South Africa.
Yes.
We've seen on social media that you sometimes refer to yourself as Matsolan.
Yes.
Is that is it a name? What is it?
So I'm a cocktail.
Okay.
Yeah, because if you, as you say, look into my social media, you see my mom is South African. My siblings are half Malawian and South African.
Okay.
And their names from the South Africa side of me and their names from the Malawi side of me.
So there's not just Lawi. We're looking at how many names are we looking at?
Yo, I have a lot of
now?
names, eh?
Take us through.
Because you see, my mother's side
Uh-huh.
gave me a set of names, and my father's side gave me a set of names.
Uh-huh.
I at some point had to come to a place where I consolidate all these and put them on the national
Like, okay, guys.
identity to say,
let's
okay,
make
so
it one.
yeah,
Yeah.
you know what I mean. But it makes it quite easier. My grandmother named me Lawi, so
Okay.
it makes it quite easier for everybody within the whole clan
Uh-huh.
to call me Lawi.
So Lawi was just random like that.
It's a family name.
Okay.
My grandma named me as a little light for the family.
Oh,
Yes,
that's nice.
Yeah.
So Lawi means little
light.
Okay.
Lawi Rimodzi,
Okay.
Malawi Ambi.
All right.
Yes.
So you've been in South Africa as well. There were rumors at some point that you were, I want to say, working
Yeah.
with the Shepherd Bushiri. I don't know if you can
Okay.
clear that up. Has there been any influence from him to your
Okay.
music?
Well, I would say I work with a lot of people.
Yes.
Too many people to mention. I think sometimes when people see you together, a lot of stories are born.
Yeah.
Yeah, but he's
Both
as you
being
know,
public figures.
yes,
Yeah.
we are very popular altogether, and when people see us in one place, there would be many assumptions.
Yeah.
I've been to his church to worship together, just as you would say, I'm in UK,
Yeah.
and let me attend a church by a fellow Malawian, and I'll do that. Just as let's say you'd be in a whole new place and you'd want to affiliate with a sense of home.
Yeah.
Yes. Out of that, there are so many things that can born. Good business ideas,
Yeah.
good business ventures,
Uh-huh.
whatever it is that you need to share. I mean, you're progressing as Malawians.
Yeah.
Yes.
So I'm sure there have been those kind of conversations between both of you.
Well, yeah, the things that, salary is
NDA?
and cherry bagulu. So yeah.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All
yeah.
right. So, what would you say are the kind of messages that you usually convey in the music that you do, or that you aim to convey?
First, positivity. I believe life will sometimes remind you of your responsibility to not only inspire, but to share from a very positive place in your heart, you know. And in a world where there's so much going on, there's wars, there's hunger, there's a lot happening to humanity. I believe our least contribution would be sharing from a very positive place. So positivity is key for me. Yeah.
And how do you feel the world, I want to say, the world that listens to your music has responded to most of the songs?
So it's always
From your
overwhelming.
perspective,
It's
yeah.
very nice. Like, I'll give you an example where at one point in time, the BBC, part of the team that I've worked with at the BBC in London, they collect a few feedback and emailed me and say, so this is what the world is saying
About your music?
about your music. And when I read that email here in Malawi,
Yeah.
it's heartwarming, and I'm like, oh, so the world thinks this about us,
Yeah.
or about me. We have to do more. We have to give more.
And coming from such a reputable organization, coming from the BBC, that's a
It's
huge
the biggest radio in the world.
Yeah.
It's the biggest platform.
broadcast. Yeah.
In the world.
Yeah.
Yes,
So that must have meant a lot to you.
it still does, and it shall for generations. I
I'm sure
believe
you have a
that's.
screenshot somewhere.
Well, I would like to do that, but sometimes
for your
these,
music, yeah.
these things are for me. Like, I would most likely print this email
Yeah.
and
Hang
frame
it over the top of your bed.
Yeah, in my house, you
Yeah.
know. Yeah, because it's a reminder
Yeah.
of not only the responsibility that I have, but also of how gifted I truly am,
And how far you've
how
come
the
as well.
world perceives that. Yeah.
All right, so take us through your creative process. How does Lawi gain inspiration? Could we be sitting here and you could be thinking of a song right
Yeah,
now? Or
yeah.
how does it work for you?
So life is the greatest giver. Life itself, it gives us everything, and inspiration is one of those. When so writing for me comes naturally. It can happen anywhere. Sometimes I'll be in a group and the feeling kicks and I go away, you know, and put together some thoughts and keep the ideas either on my phone or just making sure that I drown in the idea. Why I was saying that music is spirit is because I believe that as artists we're just vessels.
Yeah.
We're just used to receive codes or messages, because when the music comes to me, it's coming complete. It's not like I'm struggling to put
Writer's
stuff
block.
together. You know, no, yeah. It doesn't work for me. No,
Yeah.
no.
Wow.
Yeah. I know it's a reality. I know it does happen, but that's not my story. Yeah. There's a lot of things that inspire me and push me to write.
Yeah.
Yeah, but when the music itself comes to me, it comes in the complete form. Yeah. Most of the times I'll just have to adapt to it and say, oh, so here we go. I need to internalize this now. Yeah.
All right, so what would you say is a project that you've worked on that has been so meaningful to you? It's like your highlight. And say, you know what, Lawi, you did good.
My 3 albums, I think. So I've worked with different musicians from other countries, popular people in other countries. But I think my highlight would be the kind of work that I've produced for myself. Yeah, because these are the stories and this is the gift that I want to share with the world. This is what will matter by the end of the day.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right, so you are a producer because you mentioned that you produce something.
Yeah, I produce. I write music. I produce music. I've done that for myself. I've also done that for other musicians across the world. Yeah.
What are the songs that you've actually produced for yourself?
All the albums. If you've ever heard a Lawi album,
Yeah,
I produced that.
that's amazing.
Yes.
That's
Yeah.
amazing.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
would you say that your background, where you've grown up, is something that has played a huge part in influencing your music right now?
To the bigger part, Malawi.
Okay.
Yeah. Because I've been here long.
Longer than South Africa.
Yeah. Yeah. I travel a lot. Sometimes you find me in Malawi, but sometimes I'll be in a whole new part of the world where perhaps I've been there before or I've never been.
Yeah.
Being in Malawi has contributed to everything that I needed to become from a young age. And then now, as I travel, I pick up new concepts. I pick up new ideas and inspiration to formulate the different themes that I can address in my music.
Yeah.
But I'll always credit Malawi for what it has done for me. It's home.
It's home. I like that.
Yeah.
So speaking of home, home is where right now there's a lot of influx in different kinds of music genres.
Right.
I will just give an example. Let's say Amapiano is quite popular right now.
Of
in
course.
the country.
Yeah.
Zizi Kingston is pretty much doing a lot with pretty much crowned king of Amapiano right now.
Right, yeah.
How do you look at other genres? Would you say that is a true representation of Malawi? How do you look at that when you see other genres coming into Malawian music?
Well, you see, that's the beauty of music. In as far as music has its origins, ethnically, but when music is appreciated by anybody and everybody elsewhere, it can be very much owned. Yeah. The reality of the new Malawi, not just a Malawian story, but everywhere, is that Amapiano has become the heart.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And that's a good thing. Seeing
Do you
Zeze.
listen to Amapiano?
Oh yeah.
Okay.
Oh, I may not be a religious fan,
listener.
but yeah, sure. I listen to all kinds of music.
Okay.
But I believe that for somebody like a Malawian to do a piano, for me it means that they're going to do it the Malawi way and not the South African way. Yeah.
All right.
Yeah.
So let's go to the issue of young artists that are coming up right now.
Yeah.
We're looking at some other big artists, like let's say Dr. Namadingo, he's your friend.
Right.
As well.
Yes.
And we're also looking at Kelke. They're working with these young kids that are coming up.
Right,
About, most recently, Namadingo did Obeba.
Yeah.
And Kelke and Aphis Kineo did their own song as well.
Yeah.
Do we look forward to seeing you working with a young upcoming star as well?
I've always worked with young people. Believe you me, if behind the scenes I may not publicize it, the young kids may not publicize it, but I always work with young people. There's always somebody that I'm working with.
Yeah.
I've worked with Patience himself. I've worked with Kelke before. These are projects that came under organizations, or platforms that required for us to work together as creatives. So I do that. I do that quite a lot. Yeah, and the thing is, I do that not only for Malawi. This is my life. I do it for young people all over the world.
Okay, so apart from the organizational work, do you plan on working
as my personal works?
Like a project, like a song, collaboration?
Yeah, absolutely. I have done a song with Paul Gadala. It's yet to come.
Okay.
Yes. If you know Paul, he's a blessing.
Yes.
He's a true gift. Yeah.
And I like that blend.
I've produced music for Temon. Such an amazing voice.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there's so many people that I believe I I am going to work with.
Yeah.
My time permits. I have a new responsibility now, so the time seems to be squashed a little more.
Yeah.
But yeah, when I get time, I should be able to make my contribution
Uh-huh.
a lot more.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you recently had a banger of a year last year as well, because
Absolutely,
you closed
yeah.
it off with a big bang. We've
Yes.
seen you bringing in Ami Faku. I mean, that's a really big artist.
Mhm.
She came through here at Kumbali, and it was definitely a large turnout. I
Yeah,
was very
yeah.
impressed.
Oh, yeah,
So how
yeah.
did that collaboration actually come about?
Okay, so the other good thing about the Malawi space is that the corporate industry has embraced art, and they're keen to support in the best way that they can. If it's a brilliant idea and it has a guarantee of return on investment for them, they're going to put money into it. And thanks to Standard Bank Malawi, they were able to see that vision, and they put resources into it, and we made it happen together.
Yeah.
And platforms like that. No, so we have an agreement that's going to be going on for a while, and
It's going to be a yearly thing then.
actually it's coming up this summer. We're
Alright.
going to have a whole new festival, and there's some exciting things that are coming.
Okay.
We're working right now. We just did a couple of meetings already to make sure that we align for this year, and everybody's on their assignment.
Yeah.
I am working right now.
Nice.
So yeah, yeah. So this is going to be another year, exciting year. But last year for me, just made it clear that we need to do a lot more than we have done. Yeah.
What made you actually see that? What was the realization?
I think the support in itself is testimony. When you have people believing in your ideas, when you have people putting resources
Yeah.
into what you do, I think it cannot be better told than that. Yeah.
All right, so there were a few hiccups as well that happened along the way with bringing in one of the biggest artists in the
Awilo.
world. Awilo.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Kindly tell us about how that worked, and do you still keep in contact with their team?
Okay, so I think where you're working with global, yeah,
Yeah.
there's a lot at risk. Sometimes things go right, sometimes things go the other way.
Yeah.
But as a performer, I've also witnessed it where sometimes I can get double booked, and it could be a team error,
Yeah.
or it could just be a mismanagement of my my time and how I relate with other brands. That's what we potentially experienced. I was not happy about it,
Yeah.
but by the end of the day, the show must go on, and in business you sometimes learn. It was a learning curve for me.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So in terms of, because I'm really curious about this.
Yeah.
There was payment that was made
Sure.
earlier.
Yes.
Prior to him coming.
Yes.
I think he was also slated to come through in December.
There was
of-
the first time he was supposed to come in December.
Yes.
Then we shift to April because, as I'm saying, there was
Yeah.
double booking issues, and in the end, non-commitment issues. Yeah, it's a place of learning, as I said.
Yeah.
Sometimes I don't like speaking about it because it's like I'm going over something that I did before,
Yeah.
which I don't like doing, because
Which
it
is
kind of looks like
understandable.
it kind of looks like I'm pouring dirt on another performer's name, but this is what happened. This
Yeah.
is a reality, and there was other business partners that were involved that I brought into the platform,
Yeah.
who, out of belief that this was going to be a success, they put in resources as well. So
Yeah.
everybody put in their resources. We put in time, everything that we need to put to make sure that an event is successful.
Yeah.
Yeah. So to get that in return was like,
A big blow.
yeah. But well, we live to learn that. I think it's
Part of
yeah.
the learning process
It
in
happens.
business.
Yeah.
Okay, so how did that show turn out either way, regardless of
Well, it was a sold out show.
Yeah.
I mean, the beauty about it is that when you're good at what you do and the world agrees with you, you don't have to somersault. You don't have to pull tricks.
Yeah.
You know, if you
Everything's
say
just a lie.
we're going to be out here and this is what we're going to do,
Yeah.
the city came out and the event was sold. It was good. Yeah.
All right. So I like
And
how
it was with local performance.
Yeah.
It was me, it was Patience, it was Midengeri choir.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good.
All right.
And so here's the thing as well. It's a very small world, you know, because some of the people that I have worked with and people that I look up to across the world reach out to me and say, Lawi, these things happen.
Yeah.
Take it easy. Let's move forward.
Yeah.
We had just done an event with the iconic PJ Powers. She's a wonderful human being.
Yeah.
She's my personal friend.
Nice.
She came all the way from UK. She came. She had not been in South Africa for a while. She just came specifically for my show. There's a message that I put out at some point on my social media platforms. You would see she was saying that. To have somebody like that go out of their way and come for me. And at that time, she was in the studio recording with somebody, with a big musician from the UK as well. And she had to break her recordings
Just for you.
just for me.
That
Okay.
must have been big for you.
It's a big deal.
Wow.
It's a big deal. And then somebody from the DRC does you dirty, you know.
What are you trying to say, Lawi?
Yeah, but then there were people from all over the world who reach out to me and say, let's move forward.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I was thinking DRC.
Life, yeah. You know, but no offense. I love DRC. As I think previously I shared with you my appreciation for DRC music and how one of my key band members, he's actually the music director in the band.
Yeah.
Based in Joburg. They're from DRC.
Let's talk about your band.
Yeah.
Before we move forward, you mentioned that there's a diverse number of nationalities in your band. Just tell us about that as well and what went into that.
So nowadays, I'm more present in Malawi. So there'll be times when I'm needed to, let's say, perform somewhere.
Yeah.
The issue of cost is unavoidable.
Yeah.
So inevitably you have to make difficult decisions. Under normal circumstances, I would appreciate it if the hosts can afford to move us all from Malawi. So what I did is to set up a band in Johannesburg as well, where we are 5 from 5 different countries. So we have Shegun from Nigeria, who's our bassist, and we have Sisi from Benin, and he plays our guitars. We have Jose Clark, who's our drummer in South Africa, and David Mutanda, who's the director in the music director in the band, and he's also from the DRC, but he's based in Joburg. So all these bring African flavor to the music.
That's a lot.
Yeah, too much.
I like how it also blends in so well.
Yeah, but then I also have my band here in Malawi, and it's always beautiful because when you listen to the taste, the value that you get from musicians from Malawi is absolutely true, because they relate with what you're talking about.
Yeah.
So if there's an emotion behind the chords, they're going to interpret it exactly how it's supposed to. Yeah.
All right, so let's talk about music in Malawi right now and the media in their role playing their role in pretty much promoting Malawian music. How do you
Yeah.
see that going right now?
Well, I think you guys are doing a great job. Here we are.
Here we are.
Yeah, you always have done a great job in enhancing our visibility and the level of gift within our craft. I think there's been a huge transformation because this is not how it used to be. A lot of things have become easier. We may not be where we need to be, but I believe that we are very much on the right track and we should get there. Yeah, and thank you for such a wonderful job.
Thank you
Yeah.
for actually accommodating us, because this is
Yeah.
a collaborative effort.
No, thank you. Thank you so much.
All right, so I love how confident you are in yourself and your music. If there was, which is a big if,
Yeah.
if there was no Lawi,
Right.
who would you rather there be?
I'd be a chef or a restaurant owner somewhere.
Okay.
Yeah, because I already had taken that path. So
Oh, really?
yeah, I went to school, culinary
Culinary school.
Yes,
Okay.
yes, and I studied.
Mm-hmm.
I most likely would have been a restaurant owner.
Okay.
Yeah.
So who do you think would have been the Lawi in your head? Like, maybe this guy would have been.
So right now there are a lot of new people that have come, but believe you me, I know that they have come because they were either inspired by Mteo Mbali, or Brighton Carter, or Lucius Banda, or Joseph Nkasta,
Yeah.
or Mlaga Mali, or Bile Kaunda, or Lawi, or Patience. I believe that all these are different flavors, and these flavors come from a place of truth. Yeah, whereby if anything, if I didn't do what I do now, then this could have been an untold story. But it doesn't mean that there were not going to be any other stories.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right. So you've recently been appointed the ambassador of Mary's Meals. Congratulations.
Thank you.
On that as
Thank
well. How did that actually come about?
Well, first of all, it feels great. It's not just ambassador; it's global ambassadorship.
Yeah. That's
Not
big
in
deal.
Malawi,
Not just in Malawi.
you know,
It's
but
global.
the world.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a big deal because representing organizations
Yeah.
which are transforming lives on a daily, and first of all, for them to find resonance in what you do and who you are, enough to say, you know what, you can embody our purpose or our goals, and you can represent us well wherever you go. It's a big thing. It's a big responsibility, but it's also a reminder that there's a lot of work to be done.
Yeah.
So as for me right now, I am just getting familiar. This was just an announcement that was made. Otherwise, I started to, I was appointed over a year ago. So through the time, I was going through training
Okay.
and getting familiar with my role, understanding what I need to do. And when I was ready, the announcement was now made. Yeah. As I'm saying, it's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right now, Mary's Meals is feeding about 2 million children in primary schools
Yeah.
through the school feeding programs,
Yeah.
where they provide pala to school, primary school
schools,
kids.
yeah.
Yeah. But the goal is for us to reach 5 million children,
Okay.
who are pretty much all the primary school going children in Malawi. So that's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So does this appointment actually align with what Lawi believes in as well at the end of the day?
I believe in humanity.
Yeah.
Yeah. I cannot be without everybody else. So my responsibility first is to support the very communities that I come from and inspire and transform the rest of the communities that I visit or where I can impact. Yeah. There's a saying, "Muntu ndi muntu ndi antu, umntu ngumntu ngabantu." I am because you are, and you are because I am.
Yeah. All right, so this is a new year. I know we're still kicking it off, but you still have so many projects that you already released at the moment. Just, I think, a couple of hours ago, I was checking out your new single.
Yeah, the song that I put out yesterday.
Yes. Tell us about that.
Ngatimawa. It's a song that talks about if tomorrow does not come. It encourages you to express yourself today to your loved ones, to the people that you care for, because sometimes there's no guarantee that tomorrow indeed will be there for you. So if tomorrow does not come, I will love you today. I'll tell you that I love you today. I'll tell you that I care today. I'll do what I need to do today. I'll embrace my responsibility today. I'll do my part today.
All right, so moving forward, 2024, what does Lawi have planned for everybody in the world, Malawians?
Firstly, most likely new music. For the first time, I'm trying to do an EP.
Okay.
I'm doing that because the dynamic has changed. The world is hungry for new stuff, and there's constant questions as to when you're putting out something new. I cannot afford to take another 5 years to give you an album. So I'm trying to share something where it'll keep you entertained and nourished as we put together the album. So 2024 should see an EP, and many performances, I suppose.
All right. It's definitely been a pleasure sitting with you.
No, thank you.
Here, coming outside of our house and meeting you. I'm not saying it's a bad thing. It was definitely
thank you very
one.
much. Thank you. I appreciate. It's always refreshing, because sometimes when we have these conversations about ourselves, we get reminded of who we are. And sometimes maybe seek new ways to reinvent ourselves. It's also an affirmation that you know who we are and you're keeping tabs on what we're doing. So it's a great feeling.
All right, thank you so much once
again. Thank you.
That was our guest today in today's segment of Who Is, right here on Streethouse with me, of course. And continuing the show is music here coming in from the Lawi, of course, and this one's called. So let's check it out.
Okulitsa ngoma sakuwira malonda, amaimba bacha ndi dzanja lake, okumva mngoli amatuluka kumpanda, atayeza ubwino ndi khutu lake. Itana ni mudzi wonse, bacha labwera tichezera ndi mwezi. Itana ni mudzi wonse, lero tivina tichezera ndi mwezi. Tivina solo, then together, solo. Oh yeah, I'll see you again, mama. Solo, then together, mama. Solo. I'll see you again, mama. Mama, solo. Play some music from Sophia Town, play some music from Teba, Hero City Gona, tichezera pano, mpaka kucha mbembembe, kulibe tulo, mbanda kucha mbembembe, mulandu wa bulangeti tikamba. imbani ngoma, imbani ngoma. Kakale miendo ituwe tikasukusula mawa. And the night won't last forever. Slow dance to the rhythm of the music. Solo, 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 then together. Solo, solo. Oh yeah, I'll see you again, mama. Solo, solo, then together, mama. Solo. I'll see you again, mama. Solo, mama. Solo.
That was music there coming in from Lawi himself, our guest for today, and it's called Solo, wrapping up the show for Street House. You've been with me, Lucy JR, until the next episode for Street House. Peace.